Yes, we're sitting here with Hall of Famer and leader of the APHE, Miss Alana Evans.
Right now.
I've been in the industry for 23 years now.
23 years.
23 years. Working to keep us all safe.
And tell us what you do from here to support Miss Black Women's campaign.
You know, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what happens in New York moves across the country. So we came out here to support Eliza because she's running for DA. She's full force on sex work decriminalization. That's what we need everywhere. So I wanted to come and show my support with our members that are here in New York based and get the word out to vote for Eliza. You guys can get me on Twitter, Alana Evans, XX on everything. Of course, follow the union at
I'm the big pink Pegasus. I didn't even get a
Make sure you guys
All right, y'all. Good afternoon. This is Tribe Chat, and I am Big Pink Pegasus. Absent of my co-host for the time being. He'll be here shortly. But if you're new to us, we are Tribe Chat. We're the talk forum for the Black Swingers group, Missouri Kabbalah, NK Swingers for short. And we're here to make you think, we're here to make you laugh, and we're here to make you come. So today we have our esteemed and most beautiful guest, and he's coming in through Zoom, Mr. Brian Dwight. Dwayne, I am so sorry. Brian Dwayne.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. He is founder of BLKTOUCH Erotic Entertainment Corporation. How about you tell us a little bit about that? Jump right in.
So I am the founder of BLKTOUCH. It's essentially a Black erotica website, a production company.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a website, BLKTOUCH, and then there's also the social media feeds where you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. So BLKTOUCH there as well. And the focus of BLKTOUCH essentially is to create high-end erotica that is for us, by us.
Right.
Meaning, there's a ton of things that we're in, but my deep feeling about it is that a lot of the content that we consume with Black intimacy and erotica and sexuality is really just featuring us,
mm-hmm.
and it's owned by people who don't reflect our own understanding or care about our own efficacy. So that was sort of the focus, is to create erotica that mostly Black women could consume and feel good about, and understand that this is a natural, it's more naturalistic than it is sort of like staged. I mean, everything's staged to some degree. I mean, when the camera's in the room,
role play.
But I do want the connection to be felt by the person watching the scenes. And so that was sort of at the heart of the beginning of BLKTOUCH, is that this feels natural. This feels like the camera's not there. And I've been working on it since the beginning of 2019. And here we are in 2021, going strong.
Awesome.
And with over 35 scenes published so far.
Look at you. Let me just, as a consumer, a real consumer of erotica, as a Black woman, let me just say thank you a million times for considering us, and how we are depicted and what we would like to consume as well, viewing it, because a lot of times we're just a tool. We're not considered, when discussing things about erotica. Like I said, we're pretty much just a tool, the thing to do something with. So I want to humbly thank you for considering us and including us in your deliberation and how you do, what you do.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, the work I did before opening up BLKTOUCH was mostly implied nude photography, and I featured all Black women. I love Black women. I mean, I don't think I have to sit up here
That
and
makes
prove
me smile.
that.
No, you don't have
Right?
to, but it's good to, because this day and age, it's like hit or miss. You can look like you and sound like you and
Yeah.
be on something altogether different. So I'm going to ask you to say it, and I'm going to appreciate you saying it just as well as so many of us who are watching are going to definitely appreciate you saying it. Ain't no harm, no foul. We like it.
Yeah. So, in creating the content, when I actually do, it's gonna sound vain, but I do everything. There isn't really any part of
That
the
you don't
project
do.
that's not me.
Mm.
So like scripting, casting, shooting, editing, coding the website, publishing it, marketing, all of that is from me. So I always try to do it from a perspective of, if I were a woman, how would this feel? Does the female character or the lead in the scene feel like they're in control, or this is their decision, or they're being honored in some way? And even if it isn't always a positive light, it's still authentic. That like what's
Right.
going on in scenes feels authentic. So that's the sort of like engine that sort of drives my decision making and what I shoot, how I shoot it, and publish it. Because it's only once I started doing it, I realized that all that other shit is deliberate. Like when you see women just being referred to as their body parts, or like this, they'll check out her fat ass and da da da. Like there's a focus on a particular thing.
Object, right.
Black women. That's deliberate, because if you know how, if I had to sit here and make it and I can think about the opposite, that means that somebody had to sit and think about what's different from what I do.
Right.
And the real challenge is, because it's so profitable, that people think that that's really the only way to go about it. And so, like,
I would imagine the challenges are making something authentic be as palatable as all of the other stuff.
Right.
All of the fluff.
It's definitely a challenge, but then also I don't use the popularity of other work to sort of gauge whether or not I'm doing well.
So everything is a one of a kind.
Yeah. Because if you sit here and you look at what's normal out there, it's sort of like usually it's shock stuff. Like they want to, and it's not to say that I don't do extreme things with things, but it's sort of like they kind of lean into the more intense, shocking part of sensuality and sexuality, and that would lead people to believe that that's the only way to sort of market this stuff. And I believe that there is a market for it. I've been told that women aren't going to purchase subscriptions to see this sort of content.
Lies.
That's
Lies and scandals and propaganda, honey.
But that's because people's minds are always set to what's normal, and what's normal, not natural, but what's normal.
What's normal.
Right. And I sort of.
Is it even really normal, or is it just what's rampant?
I think it's normal, because there's a separation between what we consider natural and what's normal. Normal is just like what you see constantly.
Right.
Right. So if I jump onto any of these other sites, you're going to sit and see a whole variety of things, and most of it doesn't sort of honor the individuality of a person or the context of that moment. I mean, of course, that stuff has its place. It's just sort of like there isn't anything that sort of speaks to women directly, and or to, from my perspective, is true to what Black sensuality could be. It really is just like a sliver of it, and they show you this guy with a big dick pounding away at his fat ass,
and that's not even sensual all the time.
Yeah, it's just it's sort of like, but if you only see this, you think that's normal, and then you think that nothing outside of that has a space in the market. And I just felt like I really didn't look at the market when I started creating this stuff. I started talking to the women that appreciated the work I did, and I just keep that loop. I listen to what they're saying and how they feel about it, what they're looking for, and I ignore the rest of the stuff personally.
So let's just backtrack for a minute.
Sure.
Clearly, you have an eye for detail, and your background is in photography. So now, and you appear to be very well spoken. You Pardon me for all of the compliments, but I only speak it when it's true, baby. Trust and believe you me. So, that being said, I'm sure you had other forms of entertainment and other ways of expressing your art. Why go to the adult industry? Why come to the adult industry? Why go to erotica?
That's a good question. You know what? Really, it was because I didn't start off by saying I'm going to enter the adult industry.
Mm-hmm.
I did a photo shoot that got really popular. It was a polyandry shoot where it's a woman featuring two guys, and it was very sensual and very connected. And I shot that literally on the last day of 2018 when it got sent out to the models, and they started publishing it and went viral because we don't really see usually you don't see a woman sort of
right.
like
in a positive situation with two men, a positive sexual situation.
Instead of being used, it's all consensual. So I think that was a part of it. Like people were like shocked, but I didn't really make that thinking, oh, this is the beginning of my erotica career.
Right.
I just was experimenting and I put it out there.
You follow the current.
Yeah, and what happened is it got really big and people started sharing the crap out of it, but I didn't have a name for this work yet. So the second one, before I released that, I threw up a website. I created BLKTOUCH.com. I created the Black Touch feed, and I just essentially started collecting email addresses to allow people to see the rest of the content. So and then after that, it was another one and another one, and I just kept being. I was motivated just to create more of it because people were asking for it. And over time, I leaned from photo work into video. And the thing that keeps me inspired to do the work is to tell the stories that we usually don't hear. Whether or not there's a bunch of different stories.
I'm sure. I'm aware. Yeah, I can just look at your face and see all of the different scenarios popping up behind your eyes, child. I can see it.
Yeah. I mean, it really is the bigger motivator than everything else. Like, yes, I do create erotic work. I create porn, but it's not the thing that motivates me. It's the fact that I want to tell these stories and I want an audience for them. Yeah,
right. And it seems to me like your stuff is just so layered. Like, it's just so layered. I would love to, delve a little deeper into. Yeah, well, we'll get on that after
the process. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun, especially if you're working with other creative folk. The idea of shooting intimacy, like I just because I've been shooting women for so long and I'm not fazed by nudity and sex. It's not like I don't get aroused in the moment. I'm really looking with the eye of a photographer or a videographer trying to see a beautiful thing in front of me.
Would you consider yourself a sapiosexual?
Sapio and demi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nudity, just a nude body or a nude woman in front of me is
right. It needs to have something else there to it.
Yeah, I can admire it, but it isn't the engine of like I'm not completely moved by it, and I can focus on the work at hand. Right. Which is why there's nobody out here saying that Brian is a weirdo or anything.
That you gave him a pill or something and they drank.
Yeah, like all that. I really am despised by that. I despise that shit.
So, we've just been joined.
I'm so glad that you didn't try to sit in my seat.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't keep it too warm for you.
Hey, how you doing, brother? What's going on?
Welcome.
Yes, I apologize for being late. We had a little bit of a mix-up with the booking. So, did you guys get to talk about who you are, and did you get to introduce him in his bio?
I did not. See now. I didn't even get to a wife yet because I was too busy flirting and batting my goddamn eyes. I didn't even ask. I wasn't even concerned. Sorry, Queen. Please forgive me. Sorry.
All right. Apologize, everybody. But first, we have Brian Dwayne. He's the artist behind Black Touch. And back in 2019, Black Touch actually started out as a home for a couple of his erotic photo shoots. They featured erotic black imagery where its black subjects are seen as whole people as opposed to fetishized versions of themselves, which I definitely reached out to you about because I'm going to talk about that in a second. The goal was to create black erotica with a focus on sensuality and natural connections, something we know exists in the black community, but sadly has little representation in the adult film industry. For this reason, the participants in the shoots aren't models at all. Instead, they're fans of the work who want to join in the movement. So in less than a year, Brian Dwayne produced and published a total of 9 scenes currently available at blacktouch.com. Each scene is more bold than one before it. Now, the content is leaning more towards a focus on storytelling, and they have become widely shared and discussed as they delve into topics that are of recent have been unrepresented.
Yeah, we were just getting into his reasoning and the way that he found himself here.
Mm-hmm.
So that says 9. I should have probably gone over it, but at the moment it's like 35.
Okay.
And what's crazy is it's not that it's been that long since that bio was written. I just sort of like focused on being productive and shooting and releasing on a continuous basis. So yeah, I'm around 35 scenes at the moment.
Yeah, I actually have a background in adult film work as well. This is why I reached out to you. Your work is beautiful. You have such high quality, not just the resolution, but also the storytelling. It makes us know that, listen, black sexuality can't just be limited to cliche stereotypes. So look, speaking of adult industry, I know I'm late right about now. I need to give you guys Habari Ghani.
Yes.
All right, so Habari Ghani. All right, what we normally do is we begin with Habari Ghani. Nzuri Kabila is the literal Swahili translation for the term beautiful tribe. Keeping with the cultural continuity of our brand, we begin with the Swahili term for what's the news, Habari Ghani. All right, so first, MasterCard versus porn. Now, according to XBiz, MasterCard. Check this out. MasterCard is updating the requirements it sets for banks that process payments for sellers of adult content. Yes, according to Bloomberg News, MasterCard blog post published said that the company will demand clear, unambiguous and documented consent in adult content. The firms will also be required to ensure websites document the age and verify the identity of anyone depicted in pictures and videos, as well as those uploading the content. Bloomberg News reported, according to John Verdershi, MasterCard's Senior VP of Customer Engagement and Performance, the banks that connect merchants to our network will need to certify that the seller of adult content has effective controls in place to monitor, block, where necessary, and take down illegal content. Now, moving forward, decriminalizing sex work. Now, according to the New York Times, Manhattan to stop prosecuting prostitution, part of a nationwide shift. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance Jr. moved to dismiss thousands of cases dating back decades among a growing movement to change the criminal justice system's approach towards prostitution. In a direct quote, criminally prosecuting prostitution does not make us safer, Cyrus R. Vance Jr. said, adding that doing so often has the effect of further marginalizing vulnerable New Yorkers, which is a direct quote according to the Associated Press. The Manhattan District Attorney Office announced Wednesday that it would no longer prosecute prostitution, unlicensed massage, and putting the weight on one of the most high-profile law enforcement offices in the United States behind the growing movement to change the criminal justice system's approach to sex work. District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance Jr. asked Judge on Wednesday morning to dismiss 914 open cases involving prostitution and unlicensed massage, along with 5,080 cases in which charge was loitering for the purposes of prostitution. All right. Now, lastly, to lighten it up,
license somebody to jerk a dick. Like
it's massage. It's a massage. You know, that's what, and people have to get their bread. And lastly, hey, good news, Brian. Angela Simmons joins OnlyFans.
Ew.
Yes, Daughter of hip-hop royalty, legendary pioneers of rap culture, Run DMC is the latest of celebrities to join OnlyFans. We suspected this to be a fake news non-story, right? So we checked it out. All right, on the very top of her Twitter page, man, I had to. For real, this is my job. On the very top of her Twitter page.
Sure it is.
Yes, it is. It reads, new content dropping tonight at 10 p.m. Swimsuit line coming soon. Subscribe, end quote. And for only $25 a month, you can have access to her exclusive racy content. We ain't subscribed though, because we was on the feed.
Wow.
So Brian, so tell us a little bit more about what you plan on taking this
Where's
company
it going?
in the future.
Where you going?
Where the project is going?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of evolved naturally, and I can't say that I have sort of like a grand blueprint. I do realize that because of the growth of the project and the growth of the website, there's a budding market for it. And because I do all the work, I do the shooting and the editing and all the casting. I also do the back end stuff. I'm probably going to do a revamp of the site because I believe, I just sort of started it, and I didn't have like this clicks. It wasn't super clear how to transition from more or less free to paid, and then now I have around 11,000 people coming to the site
Right now.
Yeah.
So let me ask this.
every month.
Go ahead.
So, Brian, do you have a full figured little excerpt or like entry? I'm looking to be employed.
Are they body positive models? Are they full
Yes,
figure
body
models?
positive models.
Yeah, we when I say we, yes, I've shot these scenes with full-figured women.
Okay.
I do think I need more because what happens is because I'm publishing every week, stuff sort of like falls back.
Available.
Yeah, I definitely need to hit you up because I wanted to talk more. We're gonna talk more about being featured in some of your films. Now, actually, I wanted to hit a few before we wrap up. I wanted to hit a few hot points right now. How do you feel about the term Queen of Spades?
So I'm disgusted. Well, I'll tell you why. Here, I'll tell you what that's my first reaction to it. And the reason why is because I don't believe that people should be fetishes, and the whole idea that that when you see someone, you don't see a full person, a full human being, but you want to partake in their physical and
race
not
play,
accept all the other stuff. That race play stuff is not interesting to me. It's not how do I say it? Because I when I was younger, I would watch interracial stuff. In fact, I haven't given up on watching interracial stuff. The problem is that it's just too much racist content in there, and it's none of it's naturalistic. None of it, all of it is sort of, this is wrong. That's why we're shooting it. So like websites like blacks.com and Black Raw, I don't know any other ones.
Okay.
They're focused, they get sort of known because it's taboo.
All right.
It's wrong for this to happen is what I'm saying.
I wanted to add because I actually asked King Noor that on Instagram, and he had two things to say. The first thing that he had to say is, we're actually going to put a clip right now. It should say right now, if you're watching the video on YouTube, that shit is racist as fuck. Another thing that he also said, real shit. That's Jersey City's own master dom and adult film performer, opposite of Jet Set Jasmine. He also said, a human being is not a fetish or a kink. No, he said a human being is not a kink or a fetish. Being with someone does not make you kinky. Kinky is the act that you engage in. So moving forward, here's something else that I wanted to ask. So Black Touch, do you use predominantly black models or do you use other models of color?
Predominantly black for now, but I don't have a problem with shooting other models of color. My primary goal is to create to increase the existence of this content. So even if it isn't me shooting it, eventually I want to introduce other producers of content that is naturalistic and shows us in a good light. But there's tons of content that show us in a negative light, and there's tons of content that don't feature us at all. Right.
you're
So where
closing the
I
gap.
do shoot, so it really is people of color that I'm open to shooting, if that makes sense.
Do you?
It's mhm.
I'm sorry. So, do you feel like? All right, what do you think about the representation when it comes to award shows? I had Ariana Starr on here recently. She's a friend of ours. She was a guest, and she speak to the lack of the lack of diversity on grand platforms where adult film stars get awarded, like the AVN. Do you think that when you do what you do you wish to get your work to be recognized mainstream,
no.
or
Yeah, mainstream.
are you content with the creative space that you have created for yourself as niche?
The latter for sure. I really don't know.
Exactly. I'm with you, brother.
I mean, I feel that way about every mainstream awards show circuit.
We
Who
make
cares
the
where-
stream main.
Yeah, we are the
main.
Like I was talking about it before. Like there was this feeling that this market is not used. There's no reason to serve this market. That's because no one has tried to.
Right.
And so once someone actually does it, and we realize, oh my God, there's a profit here. There's actual people waiting for this work. There's going to be more people jumping in the arena,
And
a
there's
lot of them
actual
are not gonna
work
look
to be
like
done.
us. Yeah, and so in the future, the award shows are great to get a pat on the back, but that system isn't built to doesn't care about us at its heart. It's made more or less to serve another demographic.
All right,
So I
Brian.
don't care about
Also, before I know we got to get ready to go, I want to thank you for joining us and such. But I have a very important question that I ask everybody who comes on the show. Brian,
Which way do we hang?
do you eat ass?
I have.
But it's not on your menu.
It's not like I do that all the time. It's not like it's like
Brian, listen.
It'll take a little bit for me to get there yet.
Word. Brian, I want to thank you very much for being our guest. And could you let everybody know where they can check out some of your content and how they can find you?
Definitely. So the social media feeds are BLKTOUCH. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter under those names. And the website is BLKTOUCH.com. I implore people to go check it out, subscribe to the mailing list, because every time I drop a scene, I promote it and I push it out to the mailing list to let people know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and all that good stuff. And it's only getting bigger, and we're only working with much more incredible talent, telling bigger stories. And in the long run, I want it to be a large platform where everyone can sort of like find, or not everyone, but we can find work that really cherishes us. I don't care about who's not, outside of our community who's watching. I don't care about that. What I want to do is have a home for the space where we're cherished in this space. So that's it.
Yeah.
Your beard is art.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do in our community, in the alternative lifestyle community. Sometimes I actually get a lot of flack for trying to create spaces for us. But I need spaces where Black people can be their unapologetic Black selves without having to worry about censoring our cultural expression and filter it through people who are not able to fully understand the depths of our nuance. You know what I mean? I need everybody to come in my damn party and listen to The Breakfast Club, and we all could laugh when Charlamagne goes, "Niggas are going to nig." You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
We all get it.
Yeah.
For real, when Wu-Tang come on, everybody needs to be like, shame on a nigga.
Exactly.
But
no problem.
Brian, thank you very much, man. We're going to talk further about being...
A lot of shit.
Yes, we want to do some work together. We're going to collaborate, man. I know you got some stuff to do, man.
Wow, my God.
Thanks a lot for coming out, man. All right, y'all.
Take care.
Peace, love, and light, Brian. Get the hell off the screen, baby.
All right, you guys. My name is Omari the Rebel.
And I am the Big Pink Pegasus. And together we are
Tribe Chat.